and welcome to this third edition of Alumni Matter, a series of films highlighting alumni contributions to the campus. This third edition was made in late 2014 on the occasion of the first ever golden reunion of our alumni, as the 64 and 65 batches celebrated together the 50th anniversary of their graduation from IIT Madras. Those of you who have watched the first two editions of Alumni Matter, and I hope most of you have, will quickly note that this edition is quite different from the first two in a few key aspects. While Alumni Matter 1 and Alumni Matter 2 focused primarily on the financial contributions that alumni have made to their alma mater and all the infrastructural improvements on campus that have resulted, this version focuses on a much broader scope of engagements between alumni and IIT Madras. Our alumni give back in so many ways, and this is truly a celebration of the many different ways in which they give back to their alma mater. Alumni who are in academia play a key role in enhancing collaborations between IIT Madras and the institution that they are currently a faculty member at. Alumni who are in industry play a key nucleating role in providing a connect between the industry and IIT Madras. Alumni who are entrepreneurs or who have dabbled in enterprise also play a key role in terms of counseling and mentoring our students and faculty who are taking their first tentative steps into entrepreneurship. And alumni who are socially conscious play a terrific role in terms of enabling our faculty research and development, which is socially oriented, to have a significant impact on society. When we segment our alumni this way, it is clear that to capture all of their contributions to their campus and thus to society is a highly ambitious undertaking, and that is exactly what we have attempted in this video. As you progress through the video, you will note that the contributions of our alumni are not confined to just giving back to their alma mater in a very narrowly focused way, but really has a much grander design and purpose, which is becoming more evident every day. We are delighted to be partnering with our alumni in this hugely beneficial and important exercise, which truly now provides a very strong link between the three entities: our alumni, our institution, and society at large. So sit back, enjoy, and I hope that all of you will come back to the campus whenever you can and help us establish more memories. Thank you.
2014, the year of the first golden reunion of IIT Madras alumni. A time to celebrate, a time to celebrate. IITM alumni have accomplished so much in the past 50 years that the next 50 have raised great expectations indeed. India wants our alumni to drive nation building. The world wants us involved on a global scale. How do we balance these demands?
President of India Prize for the highest CGPA in BTech and dual degree, Sneha Abhayankar.
एड्स की जानकारी के लिए जो मुझे पेटेंट मिला है.
I was an academic once. I was a professor once upon a time, long time ago. Then became an entrepreneur, and for the last 10 years, I've been dabbling in philanthropy and social work.
It's nice to feel wanted, but it can also make us feel overwhelmed. At a time like this, getting back to basics, rediscovering our roots, can prepare us for the challenges ahead. So it's back to campus time for us.
Any class?
Here's today's IITM. 55 years young, startlingly vibrant, managing development without sacrificing eco-sensitivity. Still only 28% built up land, if you can believe it. This campus remains an oasis in an urban sprawl. Breathe in the air. You'll feel the difference. Here's something else you'll notice: the imprint of alumni all over. Every week during the semester, an alumnus is on campus, delivering a talk in the Leadership Lecture Series. There have been more than 80 over the past 2 years, and would you believe it, students actually stay to listen after wolfing down the snacks.
Congratulations IIT Madras on completing 50 years. Whenever one thinks of IIT Madras, one thinks of Gajendra Circle, the Open Air Theatre, and of course the famous Mardi Gras. IIT Madras is what it is because of the wonderful people who run the institute, the faculty and everybody, and of course some really great talented students who work collaboratively to make IIT Madras what it is in the outside world. It's a pleasure to always visit IIT Madras time and again. I know the campus has grown, I know the curriculum has grown, and I wish IIT Madras the very best for the next 50 years.
I would like to highlight the very important role that we, the alumni, have to ensure that IIT Madras continues to remain a premier world-class institution. Alumni interactions, whether they are in the form of leadership lectures or student interactions, on one hand help the students understand the world outside that they're going to be competing in, and on the other hand, like in my example, it helped me understand the students' minds, what makes them tick, what motivates them. So either way, I think these are great interactions. I appeal to all my fellow alumni to devote some time to these student interactions because it helps them tremendously and also helps our mother institution, IIT Madras. Thank you very much.
That you've got to be an entrepreneur.
Alumni are now giving more hands-on guidance and counseling to students than ever before. Entrepreneurship is a viral phenomenon among IITM students and even faculty. Nearly as many students are now launching companies after graduation as are going for higher studies abroad. They have clearly taken Prime Minister Modi's Make in India mantra to heart. IIT Madras has set up an incubation cell to facilitate this, and alumni in Silicon Valley and in Chennai have formed an entrepreneurship forum to provide mentorship. A startup fund has been created to provide seed funding to these startups and has already benefited nearly a dozen enterprises.
One of the important aspects of this translation work is development of entrepreneurship. We want to see that our students become entrepreneurs and not just get employed elsewhere. While this has been going on for last 15 years, somewhat in an informal manner, over the last few years we have formalized it. And today we have IIT Incubation Cell. In fact, I'm sitting in the office of IIT Incubation Cell, which is located in the research park. And companies that we are incubating also find space here. Shared space to begin with, and then their own individual cubicles, and then they graduate to become regular commercial companies. We have another incubator called Rural Technology and Business Incubator, which has been functioning in this building for many, many years. We have recently started a bio incubator, and soon a medtech incubator is going to be set up in this research park. Between us, we will be incubating 50 companies plus every year. These companies, majority of it is from our own students, but some are even from outside, is making a difference. They are bringing R&D, innovation, new business idea, business innovation, putting that together and saying we will make a mark in the world.
If our vision is to see IIT Madras stand out amongst reputed universities in the world, we need to develop large number of original ideas and convert them to commercial use. If the industries are benefited by our ideas, they will certainly flow back resources for additional research, and that will help each other. In this respect, industries and universities are, I can say, they're all made for each other.
Who are trying to work with students who have ideas that are at various levels of maturity. Some students have ideas at very early stages and they essentially need a sounding board to bounce their ideas off, whereas other students actually have mature ideas and they're looking to raise funding, crystallize their business plans and so on. And what the IIT Madras Entrepreneurs Forum tries to do is to help all of these various categories of students in their entrepreneurial endeavors through mentoring, through making connections with industry, through actually pulling together resources to fund some of these startups and so on. So we are hopeful that with our alumni base and working with all of these students, that we will really be able to foster a culture of successful entrepreneurship among the student group at IIT Madras.
We want to make sure that students at various either B.Tech or M.Tech or PhD, they also consider entrepreneurship as a viable career opportunity for them. And if they have ideas, to tell them how to develop that idea into a product and how to take it to the market, etc. So the hope is that we will have a lot more entrepreneurs produced out of the ecosystem in the coming years.
At the MEF, we provide two levels of intervention. At a macro level, we do a once in a year e-week where we build awareness in students about entrepreneurship and of course the faculty, and help them think in terms of creating jobs rather than seeking jobs. And then at the detailed micro level, we work with the individual entrepreneurs to help them build products and services based on products so that we move rapidly away from a transactional based models, business models that we are used to more value-based, IP-based models that the country would need going forward.
When we wanted to go to US and raise funds from the top venture caps in the Bay Area, almost everyone told us that it's not going to be possible. However, the IIT Madras Entrepreneurship Forum was of a huge help. The most important thing that they did was they validated our belief that it is possible. They helped us in a huge way with the pitch and the positioning of the company. And lastly, they made a bunch of introductions. Today, Hyperverge is fighting really hard to break through into the consumer market where it can have apps which can help you and me as an end user. While we look forward to this amazing journey, I cannot help but thank the alums for a huge contribution that they have had in this journey.
The alumni have played a very pivotal role in the growth of Ather till date. There is a very successful trend of successful alumni coming back and contributing back to young entrepreneurs now. For example, our first investor, Mr. V. Srinivasan, batch of 86, was an alumni. Our second investor, Mr. Raju Venkatraman, was also an alumni.
Apart from investments and financial support, the alumni have also contributed in equal value by playing the role of advisors. For example, Dr. R. Mahadevan of India Pistons has been one of our key advisors who's been part of Aether from its initial stages. We look forward to further support from the rest of the alumni group as we grow.
Alumni in academia are catalyzing IITM's initiatives in collaborative research and teaching, and alumni in industry are providing a connect that is invaluable.
I should say, thanks to Krish. It is a very, I would say, a unique contribution in the sense that this is the first time an individual lab has been benefited. But usually it's an institute that receives, but here a lab has been given in particular, where Krish spent some time of his here during his studies in IIT Madras. I should also thank Jagdish Mudra, who facilitated this, and also our Dean IIR Nagaraj and other people in this IIR office. This is a very sophisticated instrument, and it's called a UHV sputter deposition system. And his idea was to put physics department in the world map. That's what his ideas were there, and we are trying to work on. Specifically, we want to work on systems that exhibit quantum coherence, where you can see study some novel physics. Especially to grow the systems. We plan to grow such systems using this machine.
Pan IIT conducted a research in 2008. Out of the 500 top companies in India, 450 have at least one IITian in the board of directors. That's an extraordinary amount of leadership that the IITians give to the industry. But that's not just it. When you really start to work as alumni, we're able to bring solid industry problem to IIT Madras, and we have fantastic students and the faculty. One of the interesting programs that we are working on is sponsored PhDs. We also see that IITs have become very flexible, particularly IIT Madras. The leadership at IIT Madras is really flexible to understand large companies' needs and tailor-make their research and education programs that will suit the needs of the industries. There are very many ways in which IIT Madras and the alumni can come together, and I really believe that we're just beginning to exploit those incredible pool of talent that's available in the entire ecosystem.
We have many existing connections and partnerships with IIT Madras. This includes 15 of our professors at Purdue University being from IIT Madras. We have a large number of graduate students and postdocs that come from there, a good number of active research partnerships. Moving forward, what we would like to do is to strengthen this partnership further by having us faculty from both universities jointly advise PhD students, hold joint workshops, apply for funded grants together, have study abroad opportunities for our students in both directions, partner with industry in both countries. I think going down this path would significantly deepen the partnership that we have and help us actually make a regional impact in India and on the Purdue side as well. As IIT moves strongly towards positioning itself as a top global research institution, Purdue University is proud to be a partner on that journey.
Last 2 years, I've been actively involved with IIT Madras in establishing collaboration between Penn State and IIT. For both the institutions, the other institution is a strategic partner. Students at Penn State will have the benefit of the expertise of the people from IIT Madras, and the students from IIT Madras will have the benefit of the experience of Penn State faculty. So when you have such a collaboration where both the teams are going as equals and not one as a giver and another as a taker, what is going to happen is a tremendous amount of synergy will be built. Now this kind of a synergy is going to take both institutions to a very high level, and then the global visibility for both the institutions is going to be extremely useful.
Alumni are finding value in faculty research with potential for large-scale impact on society. They are providing funding and opening up commercialization opportunities.
One of the areas that alumni have played a very key role is in the funding of student projects. Specifically, I would like to mention the IIT Madras Student Satellite Project, which started in the year 2010 and is now in its 5th year. The IIT Madras students, drawn from a large number of disciplines, electrical, computer science, from engineering design, from mechanical, aerospace, all of them have come together to design the first ever IIT Madras student satellite, which will be launched by ISRO in the year 2016. The students are currently working on the prototype stage and going through the various aspects of testing and design. This is a project that over the course of its duration will cost about 3 crores. The funding for this project has come almost entirely from the alumni, and the main reason is because alumni, like us teachers, we believe that it is very important to create the excitement and the interest in the students, and they ignite a passion for engineering like no other project could. So this is one of the exciting events that I have been fortunate to be a part of, and will be working through the summer this year with about 89 students working round the clock trying to build the first ever IIT Madras student satellite.
I think we have excelled in several different fields in different ways, and all of which is success. It's not just money. But I think the most important thing and the common thread running through all of us is that we want to give something back to our country that made it all possible, because an IIT education is, I would say, probably the best in the world. I went to Harvard, the business school, which is supposed to be the toughest business school in the whole world. But you know what? IITs were a lot more tough than Harvard. Once I went to IIT, Harvard was a cakewalk for me. To me, my IIT experience is much more challenging than my experience at Harvard Business School. It's amazing that I can say that. I think a lot of us are giving back to our country that made it possible for us to become great. And for 100 rupees a year, this country gave me, this land gave me a world-class education, world-class, based on which I succeeded in life. And recently, IIT Madras has come up with a brilliant project, which I was very, very impressed, by the way. They wanted to design a satellite, and with the help of ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, which promised that they would launch the satellite for free. Fantastic, isn't it? So we decided we'll fund the project, no problem. So these are the kind of things, as IIT graduates, we have to give something back to our country, whether it gives something back to our institutions or give something back to poor people in India, so that they can go to IITs and become like me or you, like us.
Currently, the IIT SAT project is one of the biggest projects of IIT Madras, and it's doing really well, and with the help of the alumni and from the professors, we have a very good student group who are working full-time during this vacation. Sufficient funding from the alumni and sufficient support from the professors, Professor David Kolpille sir and Professor Harishankar sir, we are able to do really well, and we have already crossed the first milestone, which is the preliminary design review. Now we are working towards the critical design review.
Thanks to the generosity of alumni, we have various funding schemes like the Socially Relevant Project Scheme and the Innovative Student Project Scheme. The R2D2 group, which focuses on rehabilitation research and device development, has benefited immensely from these schemes. And just recently, our alumnus, Shri T.T. Jagannathan of the TTK group, has agreed to fund a center for R2D2. This center will focus on the development of affordable and functional assistive devices for people with locomotor impairments. Our vision for the center is to meet some long-felt needs in this area, and we are very grateful for the support.
I am proud to be a student of IIT Madras. My education at IIT Madras successfully helped me to pursue my postgraduate education at Cornell University and also to help me to run the TTK group and bring it to where it is today. I consider it my privilege and duty to support the institution that I qualified from. In the past, a chair was created in the name of TTK in recognition of support extended by the TTK group. I am impressed by the rehabilitation research and device development R2D2 initiative of IIT Madras and the presentation made to me by Dr. R. Nagarajan and Dr. Sujata Srinivasan. I believe that this initiative will deliver quality improvised devices at affordable prices for use by physically challenged people to bring quality to their life. We are extremely happy to contribute to this research project. I thank IIT Madras for providing me this opportunity to fund this project and to be useful to the society as a whole. Thank you.
For an R&D center like HTIZ, corpus funding gives the strength and flexibility to go after bigger things in our pursuit of developing affordable, high-impact healthcare technologies for our country. This contribution from our alumnus, Mr. Lalit Mahajan, is doubly special as it comes from a person who is a pioneer of indigenous healthcare technology and is deeply passionate about making a difference in human lives.
IIT Madras is rapidly transforming into a research-intensive institution while keeping its educational excellence intact. High-quality research requires excellent infrastructure, but just as importantly, it requires highly motivated research faculty and students.
Personally, I have hugely benefited by linking up our research programs with the IIT Madras ecosystem. We are developing our 7th largest research facility in the world in collaboration with IIT Madras Research Park and linking us to the IIT Madras ecosystem. We believe we are able to get very high quality faculty and students working for us through this cooperation with IIT Madras Research Park.
Alumni are playing a role here as well by sponsoring awards and chairs that recognize and reward research excellence as well as teaching effectiveness.
I have more than one reason to be thankful to IIT Madras, my alma mater. My son Gautam and I graduated with a degree in aeronautical engineering. Many amongst the faculty are true role models, not only to students, but also to younger faculty who have followed in their footsteps. We instituted the Young Faculty Recognition Award scheme 8 years ago to encourage and to promote excellence in teaching and research. We are thankful that we could play a part in making this happen.
I belong to the first batch of recipients of this award. The beauty of this is when it was introduced, we all had already started teaching. We didn't know there was an award which is coming. Therefore, nobody can say that we worked for the award. So we just enjoyed what we were doing, and this was a good recognition because for the first time in IIT, there was an award which was instituted for teaching.
It has made me rethink on strategies of making classroom teaching more enjoyable, and it has re-emphasized my belief that the teaching has to be more activity based and not just mere PowerPoint presentations.
The fact that the teaching is central to this award makes the teaching visible in a way which I think is not always the case, and therefore I think it's a great idea to put teaching at the center of the nomination process for this award.
I really immensely thank the alumnus because this was the first initiative, at least to the best of my knowledge. I've never found such a award being given to the young faculty for an overall contribution.
It requires a good vision and I would say some kind of generosity as well to encourage teachers, to encourage researchers.
I personally thank Mr. Balasubramaniam, who has generously instituted this award to recognize young faculty particularly.
And I think he has connected faculty, students and the institute in the form of this award.
I think it's a very lovely gesture.
IIT Madras has been life-changing
for me in many ways. It gave me a great education. It gave me a network of friends and well-wishers, a brand, introduced me to computers, and made me a computer professional. The institute continues to change people's lives, and I'm supporting this in my own way through the institution of these 3 chairs. These chairs are in the areas of machine learning and brain-inspired computing. The first of these chairs is named after Professor Mahabala, who was the head of computer science department in the late 70s while I was studying at IIT Madras.
What Chris has done today in instituting a distinguished chair in the name of a teacher of his time is something that we are all extremely proud of. And this is also the first time that a chair has been endowed with such an amount. The rupees 10 crore endowment makes this a very special chair. I mean, not so much for the amount, which is obviously great, but also for the fact that it gives us the ability to bring in visiting professors to occupy this chair, where we are able to compensate them on a global scale.
Such accelerated efforts, such one-off efforts need their own special funding, and that's where the generosity of somebody and the vision of somebody like Chris comes into the picture.
It is nice to be back home. I left IIT in '73 and come back and met the faculty. I enjoyed very much the progress that has been made.
Traditionally, alumni have sponsored infrastructure on campus. The IITM campus is chock full of such structures. But alumni have now turned their attention to supporting IIT Madras in achieving its Strategic Plan 2020.
The key aspects of the strategic plan are to have one overarching goal, which is then met by several other subsidiary goals or objectives, which cover all the major activities and stakeholders of the institute. So the one overarching goal can be stated as, how do we become one of the top universities or institutions in the world, not just in terms of ranking, but in whichever metric you use to measure, which is relevant to the IIT. And we may not be the very best or even in the top 10 in everything, but at least we should be in the top 50, no matter which metric you look at. So that's sort of the way we have captured the overall objective. Then that is, the academic course programs matter for this, the research matters for this, the infrastructure matters for this, the industrial consulting and sponsored research that we do matters for this. Our contributions to national objectives, whether it's all the challenges that the country faces, water, energy, housing, healthcare, everything matter. Our contributions, these matter. Our outreach to the community at large, both local as well as national, and to some extent I would say global, matters. Our international relations with other universities and exchange of faculty students matters. Our ability to tap our alumni and also give them a way to continue to contribute through the IIT, in addition to what they may be doing in their own lives and careers, is also matters. So these are all the pillars, and I'm happy that we had started a process in the second half of the last strategic plan period, to have build up an office of alumni affairs and reach out to our alumni. And we have really intensified that in this plan period, even before the plan document has been sort of written and printed. We have upgraded this to a deanship. And we have really, whatever the Prime Minister mentioned have already been launched in a big way here. We have alumni coming into the campus every day. We have a large number of alumni talks We have alumni mentoring our startups in our incubation cell. We have alumni participating in so many ways. Fundraising is just one, I would say, important but small part of it. And we are looking to alumni to actually help us achieve our objectives and exceed our objectives of the strategic plan. Our alumni, our faculty, alumni who are in universities all over the world, including the best ones. In fact, I think some study found that our IIT Madras computer science alumni are in fact the largest in number in the top universities in the world. We want them to come and help us really, rapidly scale the ladder of academic excellence. We want our industry alumni to help us increase our translational work both in quantity and quality. They are doing it, and all of this is happening, but we want that to happen. We want them to help our students and faculty with their startups, and we want them to share their experience so that this diverse student community with which we are dealing with can get what it needs from a variety of people. It's not enough for them to get it only from their friends and from the faculty of the institute. Thank you very much.
A corpus of 500 crores is required by IIT Madras to meet their strategic plan of 2020. IIT is looking at the alumni as a major source of support. IIT is also looking at various other funding organizations in the US and in North America. In order to approach them, IIT is planning to set up a development office in the US. This will of course cost $2 million to run it for the first few years. But once after 3 years, this will be on a self-sufficient basis. IIT is also planning to raise similar amounts in India by setting up a development office in Chennai. All this will help IIT Madras to achieve their goals of Strategic Plan 2020.
The Office of International and Alumni Relations at IITM has committed to building a corpus of Rs 500 crores or $100 million by 2020. This principle will be kept intact, and the annual returns will be deployed by the Institute on a discretionary basis. This requires implicit trust between the alumni and the alma mater, and this has clearly been realized in the case of IIT Madras.
I am particularly happy about a couple of things regarding our silver reunion. Our batch contributed upward of 3 crores towards the fund. I must be specifically thankful to a couple of my batchmates who contributed more than 2/3 of this amount. With this type of funding, alumni generally choose some infrastructure project in the institute. But we thought, more than us, the institute administration may be the best person who will be able to decide where exactly the money should be deployed. So we called it Alumni Endowment Fund. And this has really reaped good results. Thanks to our juniors, what started as a 3 crore fund has now doubled over the past couple of years. Now, my dear friends, I think each one of us should contribute towards this fund so that the target of 500 crores, which is earmarked by Vision 2020, becomes a reality very soon.
Just like charity, development begins at home. Come, let's guide IIT Madras through the next 50 and lay the foundation for a century of innovation and advancement for India and the world.